Hello class, or hello everyone. In our previous lesson, or in our previous video, we worked on the total income for classes, and we saw how to use the sum function in different ways, okay? And looking at my task list now, the first subtask to complete the analysis worksheet is completed. So now we go to the second one and have a look at the display the total income for all online recorded classes. Display the total income for all online recorded classes. So what does this mean? So now if you say for online recorded classes, so you display the income if you calculate the total, display the total income if that class is the total income of all classes, if the classes are online recorded. So it means we have an if here. So instead of using sum, that would sum everything, we will use sum if, which is another function doing the same thing, but you will see how it works by looking at it, by seeing it. It's better. So now we have the sum if function, and now we are asked to enter the range to look up the range we need to look out for our criteria, which means what are we looking for? We're looking for classes that are online recorded in the column of class type. So we're looking for the classes that are online recorded. So what do I say here? I put online recorded. Online recorded. Online recorded. And then, okay, we have the criteria now. Now we need the range to sum, to calculate. We need the range to calculate now. What range do we need to calculate is the class income. So now we're looking to calculate the total income of all online recorded classes. As you can see now, I have my criteria, I have my range to look out, and to look up, and I have my range to sum or to calculate. So if I click OK, I hope nothing won't be any problem. But where did I do that? There. We got the result, didn't we? Here we go. It's 2,300. So this is the total income for all online classes. So let's go through it one more time. This is the column we use to look up our information. And this is the column to use for calculating the sum or the total. And this is the criteria, it's highlighted. So we look up here, we want to find online recorded, and then we do the total of all their income, class income. So the first one is number 4, is 450 plus 400 plus 400 plus 650. You got the gist, okay? So this is calculating now the total income for all online classes. Now there's another way, and there's the same thing. Now we're looking up the total income for classes with the class income of £260 or higher. This one is done, so let's highlight it green. And now we're looking for the total income, which is missing there somehow. Total income for classes who have the class income of 260 or more. So how do we do that? I showed you how to access the function wizard, and now I will show you how to do it differently. So now again, we do the sum if. So if you do SU, you get anything that starts with SU, any function that starts with SU. If you do sum, you get any function related to sum, relative to the sum of anything. So now the first thing to look up is the range. Okay, first thing to look up is range. This is tricky when you use the values here. When you use the cell to enter your functions, it's a bit tricky. We'll look at it now. So now I'll go and find my range. The range to look up, which is here, this one. I go down, click on my shift key, and then press on my shift key and click the last cell. So first cell, go to the last cell, press on the shift key, or you can do it in any way you want. You just have to select the whole column. So now we go to the analysis, back to the analysis. You see, when I clicked back to the analysis, it gave me now a different name. You're supposed to give me imported data set 2, and it gave me analysis. Okay, so one other way I could do to avoid this error, which with a lesser problem. So I go and select my column. As you can see, I'm dragging it down now, and then press enter. Now I have the error saying you've entered too few arguments for this function. I don't worry about this. I wouldn't worry about this. I just click OK, and then go on and then start adding more arguments. My next argument is the criteria. What am I looking for? I'm looking for, now we have to open text speech mark, and then I'm looking for anything that is greater than or equal to 260. Anything that is greater than or equal to 260. I close my speech mark, don't forget, and then my comma, and now where do I do the calculation? Sum range. Where do I do my calculation? I go to the imported data and click my sum range. This is where the total income for each class is, and then click enter, and it tells me it's 0. Why is it 0? Because class data set, class income, exact match. Let's see. Too many arguments, so I don't need the exact match. Let's get back to this. Equal to 216. Another. Okay, so where is it here? No. Enter. 0. Okay. Yeah, you know what's the problem? It's not the class type that I need to look for. That's the difference between the two. Okay, let's start again. So, SUMIF, the difference between the two here, I looked up the name of the class type. This one, I don't need to look up the class type. I look up the class income. Because now my criteria is to do with the price, with the cost. Being, okay, so now I click OK again, no worries. Now I do my comma. Let's work here now. You see how flexible spreadsheet is, where you can work in different places. My criteria now is equal, greater or equal to 260, and then close my speech mark, and now it's asking me for the range, for the sum. It's the same one, because it's to do with numbers. This one is to look up numbers. We looked up all the class income for each class, and we need to find the ones that have the income of 260 or more. So I'm not gonna bother going there to the same column, it's the same one. So now I do my calculation here, okay? So the same column I'm using to look up, this is to show you how different things are done. So the same column I'm using to look up is the same column I'm using for my sum function, for my calculation. Okay, so this is the sum range, and this is the lookup, the criteria, and this is the lookup range. This is the range we use to search, to look up for our option, for our value. I'm chewing my words now. I'm getting very tired, so I'll try to be brief. So this have been done now. Okay, let's click enter and make sure it's there. Okay, now the total income for classes with the class income of 260 or more is 5,420. So we will go now to the next tasks in our next videos. Okay.